What if every decision you make today, from your morning coffee to that difficult conversation, is actually the same choice in disguise? There's a guided meditation at the end to help you recognize this pattern in real time. Think about your morning. You wake up, and immediately the decisions start flooding in. What to wear, whether to check your phone, how to respond to that text, which route to take to work. Each choice feels distinct, important, loaded with consequences. By lunch, you're already exhausted from the sheer number of decisions you've had to make. Here's what we're discovering together. Beneath all these seemingly different choices, there's only one decision being made over and over. We're choosing between peace and conflict, between happiness and unhappiness. The world makes this incredibly hard to see by dressing up this simple choice in 1,000 different costumes. This lesson teaches that we all have one essential function: to be the light of the world through forgiveness, which means choosing love over fear in every moment. The world tries to distract us from this function by making our choices seem complicated, but every decision is actually the same simple choice between happiness and unhappiness. Let me share something that happened to Sarah last week. She's sitting in a meeting when her colleague Marcus interrupts her mid-sentence and takes credit for her idea. Her chest tightens. Heat rises to her face. Her mind immediately starts racing, drafting the email she'll send to her boss later, rehearsing what she'll tell her husband about this injustice, planning how she'll handle Marcus differently next time. In that moment, Sarah thinks she's facing a complex professional dilemma. Should she speak up now? Wait until after the meeting? Let it go? Talk to HR? Each option spawns 10 more considerations. Her mind spins faster, creating elaborate scenarios, weighing political implications, calculating career impacts. But here's what Sarah doesn't see yet. She's not actually making a decision about Marcus or her career. She's making the same choice we make hundreds of times each day, whether to stay in peace or dive into conflict. The complexity is a smokescreen. The real choice is startlingly simple. Your mind is like a radio constantly switching between two stations. One plays static and chaos. The other plays clear, peaceful music. You think you're choosing between 1,000 different stations, but there are really only these two frequencies available. Once you learn to recognize which station you're tuned to, changing the channel becomes automatic. Back to Sarah. As she sits there, her mind churning, something shifts. She notices the quality of her thoughts, how they're all variations of attack, defense, and fear. She recognizes the familiar static of the chaos station. The stories her mind is telling all have the same underlying frequency. I've been wronged. I need to protect myself. This is urgent. This recognition changes everything. Suddenly, Sarah sees she's not deciding about Marcus at all. She's deciding which station to tune into. The static station will keep generating more complex stories, more strategies, more exhaustion. But there's another frequency available, one that sees this moment differently. When Sarah switches to the peace station, the whole situation transforms. She's still in the same meeting. Marcus still took credit for her idea, but now she sees something else, a colleague who might be struggling with his own insecurities. A moment that doesn't define her worth. an opportunity to choose differently. This isn't about being passive or letting people walk over you. When you're tuned to the peace station, you can still take action, but it comes from clarity instead of reaction. Sarah might still have a conversation with Marcus or her boss, but it won't come from the static place of attack and defense. The relief is immediate. The decision about what to do becomes obvious when you're not clouded by the noise of grievance. You realize you've been making everything so much harder than it needs to be. Every choice you thought was about strategy, survival, or success was actually just choosing between these two frequencies. Once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. The barista gets your order wrong. Which station will you tune to? Your partner uses the tone of voice. Which frequency are you choosing? The traffic is backed up. The deadline is looming. The kids are fighting. In each moment, the same simple choice. We think we're navigating complex situations that require sophisticated analysis. We pride ourselves on our ability to weigh options, consider consequences, strategize outcomes. But underneath all that mental machinery, we're just choosing between peace and its absence, between joining and separation, between love and fear. Your true function, to be the light of the world through forgiveness, becomes possible when you recognize this pattern. Forgiveness isn't about condoning behavior or pretending things didn't happen. It's about choosing the frequency that allows you to see clearly, respond wisely, and maintain your peace regardless of what's happening around you. The beautiful thing is, you don't need to be perfect at this. You don't need to stay on the peace station all day. You just need to notice when you've switched to static and remember you have a choice. Each time you catch yourself on the chaos frequency and gently switch back, you strengthen your ability to recognize the pattern. Sarah leaves that meeting different than she entered it, not because Marcus apologized or her boss intervened, but because she discovered something about the nature of choice itself. She saw through the complexity to the simplicity underneath. She realized that her happiness was never actually at stake. She was just choosing whether or not to experience it. This is available to you right now, in whatever situation you're facing. However complicated it seems, there's really only one choice being made. Are you tuning into the station that brings peace or the one that brings conflict? Are you choosing happiness or choosing against it? The world will continue to present these choices in increasingly elaborate forms. But now you know the secret. It's always the same choice. And recognizing this pattern is the beginning of freedom. If you'd like more teachings and guided practices like this, you can like the video and subscribe. And now, we'll move into a short guided meditation. Let's allow ourselves to settle into this moment. Find a position where your body can be at ease. Let your eyes close gently. Notice your breathing. No need to change it. Just notice how the breath moves in and out on its own. Feel the weight of your body in the chair or wherever you're resting. Let that weight be fully supported. You don't need to hold yourself up right now. Bring to mind a decision you're facing. Something that's been occupying your thoughts. Notice how your mind immediately wants to analyze it. Strategize about it. Now notice the feeling underneath all that mental activity. Is there tightness, urgency, a sense of pressure? This is the static station. You can feel its frequency in your body. The slight tension, the mental noise. Take a gentle breath. As you exhale, Allow yourself to recognize something: this complexity is optional. The urgency isn't real. Imagine switching to a different station, one where this same situation exists, but without the static, without the stories, without the pressure. What remains? Perhaps just a simple question: what would bring peace here? What would happiness look like? Notice how much quieter this station is, how much space there is. The decision might still be there, but it's no longer urgent, no longer complicated. Rest here for a moment, in this space where choices are simple, where you can see clearly. You know which station you're tuned to by how your body feels. Peace has a different quality than static. You can always check, you can always switch. When you're ready, take a deeper breath. Feel your body here in this space. Wiggle your fingers gently as you open your eyes. Remember, the two stations are always available. In any moment, you can notice which one you're tuned to, and you can choose again. Thank you for practicing with us today. If you'd like, there's a link to a free digital copy of ACIM in the description. And if this video resonated with you, please comment. I am grateful. Thank you for taking this time to recognize the pattern that runs beneath all our daily choices. As you move through your day, be gentle with yourself when you notice you switch to the static station. The recognition itself is the beginning of peace. Until next time, may your choices come from clarity rather than complexity.